UFC 298, guys. Woo, we got a really good card from top to bottom. There's not a bad fight on this main card. Not at all. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to open up the card with Anthony Hernandez versus Roman Kopylov. Hernandez likes to start fights really fast, man. He comes out throwing bombs. He ends a lot of his fights when he does win pretty early. But Kopylov is extremely durable. He does take some punishment, though. So, I mean, it's pretty much a coin flip fight. Can Hernandez hurt him enough to get him out of there early? Or can Kopylov survive the early onslaught from Hernandez and then take over in the second and third rounds? That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. I like Kopylov in this fight. He's a good fighter. He's an unorthodox fighter with strikes from all different types of angles. And he's really durable. He's gotten hit a lot in his fights. But he keeps on ticking, man. And that's how he wins these fights. He's got brute strength, brute determination. He's a really good fighter. He's got that Russian blood in him, man. He could take a lot of punishment and keep on fighting. And in my opinion, that's what I think happens in this fight. I think Hernandez is going to come out early and put it on him. But I think Kopylov survives and then takes over in the second and third rounds. And he wins, a 29-28 decision. I'm going with Kopylov by decision, 29-28. And on these Car Chronicles, we have the second fight, Merab Dvalishvili versus Henry Cejudo. It always concerns me when a fighter is talking about retirement before a fight. Cejudo has constantly said if he loses this fight to Merab, he's going to retire, he's going to hang it up, and that'll be all she wrote for Triple C. It concerns me because Merab is coming for blood, man. If you've seen his training videos and his interviews, he's coming to take Cejudo's head off. And if Cejudo isn't 100% in this fight game, Merab's going to put it on him, man. He's going to put a pace on him. And I could see it being very similar to that Aljo fight where he kind of takes Henry down and kind of just backpacks him a little bit and beats the brakes off him. But on the flip side, Cejudo looks in incredible shape, man. There were some Instagram photos of him floating around yesterday, dude. Cejudo looks in incredible shape. He looks big. He looks strong. It's going to be a really good fight. I think it's really going to come down to can Merab take down Henry Cejudo. I mean, it's no easy task. I mean, Cejudo's an Olympic gold medalist in wrestling. So taking him down is not going to be easy at all whatsoever. So if Merab can't take Henry Cejudo down, Merab could be in trouble, man. And Cejudo's got some power. He's got really good leg kicks. He could definitely chew up those legs of Merab and kind of stop those wrestling attacks. Because you really need your legs under you to finish takedowns. And if his legs are chewed up and banged up, it could be a close fight. I think this fight's going to go the distance. It's going to go... both of these guys are 5-round fighters with tons of cardio. So, I mean, I think this fight ending in decision is the best bet, probably on this card. I don't see either one of these guys getting finished or stopped in a 3-round fight. They're both championship caliber fighters. Cejudo's fought tons and tons of 5-round fights. Oh, man, it's tough. Now that I'm convincing myself out of picking Merab. I originally thought Merab was going to win this fight. But you know what? I'm flipping. I'm changing. I think Henry Cejudo wins a 29-28 decision. All right, next up, we have a really interesting fight. Gerry versus Geoff Neal. Geoff Neal is super tough, man. I think his last fight was against Shavkat Rakhmonov, and he put it on Shavkat a little bit. He hit him with some big shots and hurt Shavkat a little bit. He put Shavkat in the most trouble we've seen him get into in any of his fights. And eventually, I think it was a standing guillotine because Shavkat and him were exchanging in the pocket. They were both landing big shots. And Geoff Neal is really, really, really tough. But Gerry has finished a lot of tough guys. Man, he finished Daniel Rodriguez really, really quickly. That was surprising to me because Daniel Rodriguez is really, really tough. But Gerry is a little more well-rounded, I think. But he's got clipped in his fights, too. And Geoff Neal's got a ton of power, man. So if you want to roll the dice, Geoff Neal by TKO or KO, I bet you it's paying like plus 750 or something crazy like that. But I like Ian Gerry in this fight. I think he's got a lot to prove. And if he can't beat Geoff Neal, his, championship dreams could be shattered. Because Geoff Neal is kind of like a guy who's going to be constantly probably ranked in the top 10, but I don't know if he'll ever be a top 5 fighter. So I'm going with Ian Gerry to win a close fight, a really close fight, 29-28. I think we're going to get a lot of decisions on this card. These fights are as even as I've seen on a main card in quite some time. I don't think any of these fights are over like minus 200. Then we're going to move on to the co-main event. We got Paulo Costa, who I feel like who hasn't fought in forever, and Robert Whitaker. Whitaker's coming off of that Duplessis loss. And he's been getting finished. He got finished by Israel Adesanya. He got finished by Duplessis. And I think he's going to get finished again. Paulo Costa looks in incredible shape. And he throws bombs, man. I mean, him and Duplessis and Costa probably have about the same power. So I really like Paulo Costa in this fight, man. I really do. I think he's got a ton of power. And I think he's got something to prove, too. Because if Paulo Costa loses this fight, he's pretty much going to be a gimmicky fight guy, out of the top 10, no real shot at a title or a championship. I think a lot of people's careers are going to be, catapulted or washed away on UFC 298. I think if Volkanovski loses to Topuria, that could spell the end for him a little bit. And then if Ian Gerry loses to Geoff Neal, all that hype's gone. And if Robert Whitaker loses again, I don't really know where he goes from here, guys. I just don't know where he goes from here. But I think it's going to happen. I like Paulo Costa in this fight. He's a very dynamic striker. Robert Whitaker's going to have to take him down, secure takedowns to win this fight. Then we move on to the main event of the evening, everybody. We got Alexander Old Man Volkanovski. Man, him wearing that old man outfit was hysterical, man. That was epic. Absolutely epic. Versus the young, hungry Georgian and Spaniard IlIa Topuria. Topuria's got a ton of power, man. But his game is a little limited, in my opinion. He doesn't really use leg kicks. He doesn't use body kicks or head kicks really at all whatsoever. So he's really going to have to switch it up. He doesn't switch stances like Volkanovski does. Volkanovski is just as effective southpaw as he is conventional. That's why I like Volkanovski in this fight, man. He's got that big fight championship experience. This is just another fight for Volkanovski. But to Topuria, this is everything for him. And I think that adrenaline dump is going to be real, man. I think after that first round, we're going to see something very similar to that Justin Gaethje fight when he challenged for the title against Khabib. He was all over the place, like a crazy madman in that first round against Khabib. And in the second round, he gassed out, Khabib took control and ended the fight. I think that's exactly what we're going to see happen in this fight. Topuria might have a little bit of success on the feet in the first round. He's going to throw a lot of punches, a lot of swings and misses. He's going to gas himself out. And then in the second and third round, Volkanovski is going to take over. And I think Volkanovski wins by TKO stoppage in the third round. That's it, guys. I'm going Volkanovski, Paulo Costa, Ian Gerry. Then I'm going to go with Henry Cejudo. I'm switching, I'm flipping. And then I'm going to go with Kopylov. All right, there's my UFC 298 main card predictions. Let me know in the comments below. Who are you picking in these fights? Leave me some comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. Peace. Say bye, Penny. Say bye. Say bye.